Well, Darren Purse is obviously heavily involved in football, but as a hobby, when you were playing, you used to be really into your Greyhounds, and that's how you and I first came across each other. But for those who maybe didn't see the features we did on Sky, tell people how you got involved.
Um, it was when I signed for Oxford. Obviously, Oxford was a probably one of the better greyhound tracks around the country, and just got taken up there once or twice. I'd always enjoyed greyhound racing, and I think my first time I went was at Hackney when it was open back in the 70s, when I was sort of 4, 5, 6 years of age. So showing my age there, but so I got into greyhound racing from that, and then obviously rekindled that when I moved to Oxford and got introduced to a trainer called Patrick Curtin, and he managed to persuade me to go and buy a dog, and it was it was quality. I used to love just going around the country and watching him run. In the end, I probably had 5 or 6 dogs with him, and the kids used to love taking them for walks during a weekend. We used to go down to the kennels, feeding them, and then just obviously travelling around and watching them run. It was fantastic.
And you really did travel around, didn't you? You went to several tracks.
Oh yeah, obviously one of the better dogs I had was called Up the Tripes. Don't ask about the name, but it was so he ran sort of in a few open races around the country. He got to the semi-final of the Springbok, the hurdle race at Wimbledon, and obviously sadly missed out there. But he was probably one of the best dog that I owned. So yeah, sort of Sheffield, Sittingbourne, and going around watching the open races, Monmore. So of an evening, I'd finish training, get back home, pick the kids up. I used to take the kids around with me, and we'd go and watch the dogs run.
Yeah, it's a great sport for young kids as well, isn't it? They get a certain amount of freedom as a track. I'm speaking as a kid that used to go dog racing. You do get an amount of freedom at a track, and also then obviously the other side at the kennels, they can get quite hands-on.
No, they do, definitely. Feeding the dogs, I used to take them up there. We'd have a game on a Saturday afternoon. I live quite local to the kennels, and on a Saturday morning, I'd take the kids up just to get out of the house. And they'd feed them, they'd walk them around the paddocks and that. They used to love taking the dogs out for a walk. So it wasn't like I was dragging them along. They were the ones that they'd always be asking when we were taking the dogs out. So from that point of view, it was a sort of a real family affair. So it was me spending time with my kids away from football. So that was ideal. My youngest boy used to love having a little pound bet on the tote on the dogs as well. So he usually did pretty well on it. So if he's got a gambling addiction, it'd be on my head. But he used to enjoy doing that as well. It was just really good fun, and the kids really enjoyed it.
But with that competitive edge as well that so many footballers and sports people have.
Always, you're always one of the best. You don't want to finish 6th every race, do you? So it was nice walking up there, and obviously taking a little bit of money off the bookies when you knew he was going to, when you was expecting a big run from the dogs. So yeah, it was good. I used to try and sort of leave it as late as I could. I think when I used to turn up, the old odds of me dogs used to go down a point or two. So leave it as late as I could, get there, put my bet on, and then and enjoy watching it run, and then spending some time with the many friends that I've met from the game as well.